How do? I'm Benita Granville, and you've galloped into another edition of Unfairly Maligned. After the immense success of the Pirates of the Caribbean pictures, Johnny Depp and director Gore Verbinski could pretty much write their own ticket at Disney. Depp had recently starred in a big budget revival of a beloved old TV series, Tim Burton's masterful Dark Shadows, so it's not too surprising that he would again look to a small screen classic for inspiration, and thus was born The Lone Ranger. But in a first for the venerable franchise, the actor playing Tonto would get top billing. But what was really strange was that they decided to do it a la Little Big Man, with a super elderly Tonto telling the story from his viewpoint and, of course, making himself the hero. It was a very clever and very daring conceit, but also a pricey one, $250 million. Disney said, "We like it, just not that much." The budget was trimmed to $215 million. Disney swallowed hard and said, "Okay." And sure enough, the budget crapped back up to $250 million. But here's the thing, the money's on the screen. That's really Monument Valley they're shooting in. And those are real stuntmen riding real horses through a real Western set. And those are real trains racing down miles and miles of real tracks. Yeah, there's some CGI, but not a lot. They wanted it to look authentic, and they succeeded. But that's where the success ended. The critics had their knives out. They didn't review the movie, they reviewed the budget. Back then, $250 million was a lot of Hamiltons. And by the time they were finished, there was nothing left but a stain on the grass. Fortunately, some of them, notably A.O. Scott of the New York Times, did go back and give it a second and more favorable look. But it was too little, too late. And so now, here's the Emmis from someone who got it right the first time. Okay, that doesn't exactly scream Hi-Yo Silver, does it? But it's certainly an attention grabber. That's Armie Hammer, who does a commendable job of playing the title role as an amiable goofball and restrains himself from chewing the scenery. Wait, maybe I should rephrase that. Anyway, you can see the real production value here, even if the ADD editing doesn't always linger on shots long enough for you to take it all in. And there's Depp with his infamous crow headpiece.
Why am I covered in dirt? I buried you.
Interestingly, they chose not to show Depp in his old age makeup, which probably didn't help, as it would have alerted audiences that this was not a traditional retelling of the saga, and thus lessened the initial negative reaction. And yes, there's some off-the-wall humor there. We'd expect nothing less from the Pirates folks.
Horse says you are a spirit walker.
Helena Bonham Carter has a plum role as the local madam. Ruth Wilson is the damsel in not so much distress. And most of the Indians are played by actual natives. Even Depp claims to have some Cherokee blood, though it's never been confirmed. Funny, they didn't have to show the Pirates name. They just showed you the logo, and that was enough.
Justice is what I seek, Kimosabe.
The picture actually didn't do too badly. It's still among the top 10 grossing westerns of all time. But they still lost a trainload of dough, killing the intended sequel. And it's a shame. I saw it twice, and each time the audience erupted in cheers when the William Tell overture kicked in, which, by the way, you won't hear in this trailer either, which also gives only a taste of that cinematic train chase, which is jaw-dropping by any reasonable standards. But they certainly do sell the epicness of it all, and it still stands as a solid piece of action filmmaking by anyone's standards. So be like A.O. Scott and give it a second chance, or a first if you skipped it. I won't mind if you forget to thank me. And now, my work here is done.
I can't wait to hear how it's going to justify this.